So I had to learn that, you know, victims, they fight others, and victors only fight themselves. And you might be thinking, what do I mean by that? Like, how am I a victim if I'm fighting someone, physically, I don't know, emotionally or financially, whatever the case may be. Um, let's say physically, right? You're fighting someone physically. You're in a, you know, I don't know, maybe you're in like a park where there's a lot of trees and things like that, like a lot of grass, fields, like all and then like you're like face to face with another person that you're not too fond of, and they're now saying things to you, and they're threatening you verbally, and you're doing the same. You're reciprocating that. You're recycling that negative energy, and then after one thing leads to another, and then after that it leads to breaking out into a physical um like exchange. Say that you swing and punch and you connect with the other person on the face using your fist, and then they start to do the same thing back, and now it's a full-fledged fight. And it may even turn out that in the process of this this fight, this altercation that you people are having, you might get the better of the other person. It may result in them leaving with a black eye, or a bruised lip, and that they are, maybe they're crying, and they've told you they've had enough. They're going home, or they're going their separate ways. And it's all cool. You feel great. You feel like you've defended yourself, and um, that you're a champion in that moment, and you are, you know. But at the same time, maybe it could have been avoided. You know, did you really have to fight over words? Did you really have to physically hurt someone over, a initial verbal interaction? And the answer is no. I'll be honest, the answer is no. And this basically leads me to saying that words don't really get to me anymore. Like, I can't be triggered physically by any verbal antagonist or instigator, because it's like, yeah, you can say words have power, and they do, but at the same time, you're giving it the power, you're giving it the definition, right? When you decide to get offended by that, you're saying that, okay, I have a trigger. There is something that you can say that will make me do something. It will make me, you know what I mean? It could make me cry. It could make me scream back. You know what I mean? It could make me want to throw fists, get down, and see, who can who I can assault based off of what they're saying. And it's wrong. I've grown up, and I remember throughout my whole childhood I've been fighting since I was a jit, or a kid. And I can remember, maybe from I don't know, I must have had my first fight at around like 7 years old or something, just having differences with another, someone else of the same age at that time. And maybe they were like even a schoolmate, or a class friend or something, or like or someone that I just grew up around, and maybe we're playing a game. We got some like because back in the day they used to, and in fact I think they still sell them, but there was these match attacks cards. That match attacks were, and they were based around football, so around football players, and having the best, the highest rated football player means that you have the most valuable match attacks card that there is. So I used to get in arguments about that, about someone maybe having a better one than mine, or whatever, and one thing leads to another, and you just get sick of hearing that person just speaking, and you want to kind of stop them from speaking. So you feel as though the best way to do that is to by physically assaulting them instead of maybe just walking away and just being like, you know what, I don't want to hear you speak. I'm going somewhere else. Instead of, I don't want to hear you speak, so I'm gonna, I'm gonna throw my fist in your mouth. And I did that. I had a lot of fights throughout my youth, all the way up to my like mid-teens, I would say. So maybe from like the age of maybe 7 to like 16, I fought a lot, and that's in fact, yeah, almost a decade, 9 years of fighting consecutively every year. At least I would get into like one or two fights a year, maybe more than that, but one or two probably like major fights a year, where someone would more than often come out bloody you know, um, whether it was breaking a dude's nose at the age of 14, you know what I mean? I even used weapons in some instances, right? Like throwing a brick off someone when I was like 9, 10 years old because this person was, I don't know, just being annoying. I don't know if they had beat me at something, and I just felt this imminent rage to just shut them up, and it was wrong. You know what I mean? Like I could have seriously, like I could have done something, where that permanently injured them. You know what I'm saying? And hell, maybe they still have the scars. So I guess I kind of did, but it could have turned out that they wouldn't even be here today as I'm speaking. I know that they are here today, which is or at least from, I'm aware that they are here today, maybe from the past 5 years since I've, just had a look, and just, we used to be like acquaintances, I would say, family, friends and whatnot. So um from last time I checked, which was maybe around 5 years ago, they seem to be, they seem to still be, just like with us and operating in a, normal way and whatnot, without any physical, like, without having to undergo any like physical surgery or anything like that. So I just matured from my ways, around the time I turned 16, I was like, I don't want to fight anymore. Like, I don't even, I don't even want to really fight anyone anymore. Like, I still have it in me even now. Like, I'm much older now, and I got that in me. And sometimes, I've had some instances, especially recently, where, guys have just turned around and said things to me, like older men my age, younger, like, because I'm getting older now, it's kind of like, it's not just people my age anymore. It'll come from anyone. It'll come from anywhere, at any time. It's like, I'm just out and about doing my normal things, like getting my bills paid and, just taking care of what needs to be taken care of. And I had an instance in like a post office about, I don't know, like maybe 6 months ago now. So December of last year, 2024. It was a dude that, well, it was a group that was inside the post office, that I had entered into, because I was trying to sort out some documentation, like trying to get some mail sent out, to like abroad to another country. And as I was doing that process, it was, the process was taking a few minutes, right? Maybe up to like 10 minutes altogether. So I was standing waiting there for majority of the time, just kind of, overseeing the whole process. And during that, I was minding my own business. I, acknowledged these guys. I acknowledged that this group was there, but I didn't care. Again, they're everyday people, normal people. It's like, okay, whatever. Like, just, I don't know, a group of three white. Like, it's all right. I'm going about my day. And they're looking at me. I don't know if it's because I have my hood up, but, or yeah, they're just looking at me, and they're like, he says something. I don't know what he says, because the Scottish accent is so thick. Sometimes it's hard to understand what people are saying, and then when they speak in slang, that it flies over my head. And I don't know what dude said. He said something slick, and I just turned around and went, what? huh? You know, I went, what? Huh? Because literally I didn't understand what he said, but it was also to call his attention, like, yo, don't be just turn around and randomly talk to me, um, and thinking that you can make some type of, I don't know what he's insinuating, that you can make some type of joke out of me or the situation that I'm waiting for some documents and stuff like that. Like when they're getting tended to and they're getting tended to quicker than I am because but they aren't treating they don't it's not like the context is different, like they aren't getting documentation treated and prepared to be, you know what I mean, prepared to be like to prepare to be shipped out to another country. They're just there in the store on a regular day, just maybe buying some alcohol or something, right? And it's but the dude, I don't know, maybe he's just bothered by my presence, just me being there, or he just wants to say something funny. He's probably already drunk or something, right? Probably already under the influence of alcohol or some recreational like substances, and he tries to say something slick, but I literally don't understand him. I have to say what, like, loud, to catch his attention, and he's like, oh no, it's nothing. Says something more under his breath. Um, I'm there, and I look away, like, but I'm still there. But I'm still there. Like, I'm looking at the, because I'm looking back at the reception area, like of where all the process is taking place. You know, I'm looking back there. I'm focused on what I got going on, but my body is now, turned towards them. You know what I mean? It's just that my head is on a swivel. But those guys, they didn't, whatever they was trying to say or that they said, I don't know. He could have called me like a racial slur or something, and I didn't care too much. I was just like, I was just like, don't talk to me if you're not going to speak properly. If you're going to use some type of slang or slur, or you're going to talk with extreme speed, then, or you're not going to pronounce your words properly, then don't speak to me, because that in and of itself is kind of disrespectful. Who do you think that I am to speak to like that? Am I an animal? Like, no, I'm a human being. I'm just like you. So yeah, it was like, but if I really if I really if I really wanted, if I really wanted to, I could have taken offense to that and then maybe challenged him, like to some type of physical altercation, or just go up and initiate physical altercation. But I didn't do that, even though with them being in a group like three men all together at this like at that moment, only one of the guys had turned around and said something, but the other guys were also, they were also aware of what was going on, but they were just staying silent beside him, but they were silent. And it was just him saying that. And it was like, I, I, I just, I just said, like, you know, I, I'm gonna just leave it, just tunnel vision on what I need to do, and get the mission done and make sure that I get out of there, you know. But if I wanted to, I could have asked him, yo, repeat what you said. Like, what is it that you said? I wasn't specific. I just said, what? Huh? Like, I'd say, and if he wanted to repeat it, he would have repeated it. But I don't think he did after. I think he just left it. He just said, oh, nothing. Okay, cool. Keep it that way, because I really didn't have time for the for the nonsense. Um, but yeah, yeah. I decided, like, you got to become. I think when you mature, and over the years that I've been maturing, I've been winning more. Like I've actually been, because even though I've won and I've lost fights, right? You know, I've had, you know, like I've sustained injuries from fights, to the point where I've been left crying, I've been left sore, you know what I'm saying? In need of like medical aid, But I've also left others in the same state. So, and all of this under the age of 16, you know, well under the ages of that for a lot of them. So, um, um it's like I stopped that because I turned 16. I was like, yo, if I continue this down this path, what's gonna happen? I'm probably gonna go to jail. Like, nah, I'm not really considered a minor anymore. You know, I'm considered like an adult, you know, or I'm about to be. And so I have to be very careful. I gotta instill certain habits now to the point where, you know, if people can say something to me when I'm 18 or when I'm 19, 20, like it doesn't really get to me like that. It's like, okay, a little bit irritating and embarrassing, but I'm outside doing what I need to be doing. So let's just focus on that, you know. And that's really how you become a champion, you know. That's how you become a victor. And I ain't talking about the name Victor. But if your name Victor, I mean, that's cool, innit? It's a bonus, like, but you could be a victor and be a victim, you know. But at the end of the day, it's your choice, you know. Are you gonna let things, you know, spiral out of control when they didn't need to, you know? Unless someone is coming to you on that type of time where you have absolutely no choice, you better just you know, try and observe more and just kind of, you know, be blasé about things. You know what I'm saying? Um and that's really all I've got for today. So I guess I just want to say, like, I appreciate you guys' time watching this video. And yeah, man, catch you in the next one.